Hello and welcome back to Too Lazy to Read, where we read the uncomfortable things properly. Today's book is about one of the strangest discoveries an adult can make. That your parents may have been grown-ups in every official sense, driving, paying bills, owning suspiciously specific kitchen utensils, but emotionally they may not have been able to meet you as a real person.
Yes, fully licensed adults, tax-paying, possibly excellent at buying school shoes, but emotionally? Somewhere between "I refuse to discuss feelings" and "why is this toddler in charge of the mortgage?"
Exactly the sort of adulting gap Gibson wants us to notice, competent on paper, unreachable in the moments that matter. The book is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay C. Gibson. And before we begin, we need to be very clear about the tone of the book. This is not a public trial of every disappointing parent in history. It is not saying, your parents failed once, therefore assemble the tribunal.
Exactly. Gibson is not trying to turn parents into cartoon villains. The book is trying to help adult children understand a pattern. Distant parents, rejecting parents, moody parents, self-involved parents, parents who technically loved you, but somehow made your inner life feel like an administrative inconvenience.
Exactly. And that distinction matters before anyone starts sharpening the family cutlery. That is the center of the book. Not how bad were your parents, but what emotional atmosphere did you grow up in? What did it train you to become? And how do you stop carrying it into every relationship like a cursed family subscription you forgot to cancel?
And because this book deals with childhood, parents, loneliness, shame, anger, guilt, and the deeply awkward moment when you realize your family dynamic has more red flags than a pirate convention, it can hit hard.
That is the right warning. This material can feel personal very quickly. So we'll keep this funny where we can, because the human nervous system deserves a biscuit now and then. But we won't treat the subject as a joke. Gibson's book can be deeply useful for people who grew up feeling unseen, and the whole point is to make the ideas clear without turning them into either doom or drama.
Also, this is a book explainer, not therapy, not diagnosis, and not a replacement for proper support if someone is in danger or seriously struggling. We're explaining Gibson's ideas, not handing out certificates that say, "Congratulations, your father is emotionally immature, redeemable for one awkward Christmas."
Good. With that guardrail in place, Gibson begins with a deceptively simple question. What happens when a child is more emotionally aware than the adults raising them?
Which sounds dramatic, but it is not rare. Some children are very sensitive. They notice moods. They notice silences. They notice when a parent says, "I'm fine," in a tone that suggests the entire household should immediately hide behind a shrub.
The shrub image is ridiculous, but the point is serious. Some children become experts at reading the room because the room is not safe to ignore. And when those children are raised by parents who fear emotion, avoid self-reflection, or cannot offer real emotional closeness, the result is what Gibson calls emotional loneliness.
That phrase is the first big key. Emotional loneliness is not the same as being physically alone. A child can be surrounded by family and still feel alone. They can be fed, clothed, driven to school, given birthday cake, and still feel that no one truly sees them.
Yes, and that is why Gibson spends so much time separating outer care from inner connection. This is one of Gibson's most important claims. Emotional neglect can exist inside a family that looks functional from the outside. The child may not be visibly mistreated. There may be meals, routines, school forms, and family photos. But if no one is interested in the child's inner world, there is still a kind of deprivation.
The child feels emotionally unfound. That's the best way I can put it. The parent may know the child's timetable, grades, allergies, shoe size, and preferred cereal, but not the child's fears, longings, private thoughts, sadness, or strange little hopes. The child's body is being looked after, but their self is not being met.
Emotionally unfound is a painful phrase, but it catches the experience exactly.